A little bit on the top. She wanted to keep it a secret from me, but
all right.
Should I go get my other friends? Where's Hunter?
Very nice. Tall people speaking on here. Here's her honor society.
This is Val.
Hold on for honor society. Hold on to that.
I pledge myself to uphold the high
Probably remember with great clarity the day that you brought your child into the world. And it probably seems like yesterday that you dropped them off to us for the very first time. In fact, this morning, Mrs. Holm, Carly's mom, mentioned, isn't it fitting that we're meeting here on the kindergarten yard where these students started, and here we are passing them on to high school. We have a wonderful ceremony planned for you today. Before we get started, I did want to let you know that as the students cross the stage, we do have professional photographers with us here today that will be taking their picture up front, and you will be receiving that proof in the mail. So please be seated, enjoy, sit back and relax. There will be a close-up photograph of your child that's professionally taken. At this time, I would like to introduce Celeste Solis. She is our leadership president.
Beechwood faculty and families. I am honored to stand before you today representing our school as this year's 8th grade president and speaker. The beginning of my education at Beechwood started in 4th grade as a new girl. As many of us know, being the new kid can be quite nerve-wracking. But Beechwood not only made me feel welcome, but made me feel as if I had never switched schools in the first place. With 8 or 9 years of schooling behind us now, we have our parents to thank for the continuous support. We have our teachers to thank for sharing their knowledge and giving us their attention in order to help us grow into intelligent, mature young adults. And lastly, we have each other to thank. Throughout middle school, we have grown and worked together in various ways. Whether it be to understand and complete difficult assignments or to overcome social struggles, every experience at Beechwood has helped to shape us into the individuals we are today. And every person, both students and faculty, have impacted us in ways that we can share in the years to come. As our friendships blossomed, we all began to become a family. Just as Mrs. Steele had hinted since the beginning of 7th grade, we will always be the Beechwood 8th grade family of 2012. Today, June 13th, we, the Beechwood class of 2012, will be promoted to a new 4-year journey we call high school. I remember this time last year where we 7th graders wished all of the last year's 8th graders good luck as they embarked on the same journey. Then, before we knew it, we had replaced them. We had become the 8th graders, the leaders of the school, the oldest of the student body, and with that title came more responsibility and pressure. However, the year flew by and we took some very big steps together. We spent a week with each other in Washington, D.C. We went to a formal dance together, and now it is our turn to be promoted together. All of our experiences at Beechwood have prepared us for high school, and in just a few months we will start our new routines, forget about the old middle school one, and continue to grow by making new friends and expanding our knowledge on so many levels. Just as Oprah Winfrey once said, I encourage you to walk through life eager and open to self-improvement and that which is going to help best you evolve, because that's really why we are here, to evolve as human beings. Although Beechwood has been a small step on this road to becoming responsible and mature members of society, the 2 years have had a huge impact on us, because with each step in our education, we challenge and push ourselves in new ways. We are prepared for high school. Yes, we'll have even more responsibilities, we'll have even more barriers to overcome, and we will definitely have a larger workload, but I am confident that we will be successful in whatever high school throws at us, and that in 4 years we will have learned to understand and appreciate all of these challenges. Now is the time we're going to have to say goodbye to the teachers, to the classrooms, and sadly to the classmates that we spent most of our school year with. When summer finally ends and we walk through the huge hallways of high schools, we will be freshmen. Not the ones in charge, but the scrubs. So as our final day as 8th graders, Justin and we start a new journey in our lives, a journey we are prepared for. It is my honor and privilege to have spoken in front of you today. Thank you for listening, and congratulations to the 8th grade class of 2012.
We have a special Bobcat Award to honor Celeste with for her service to our school this year as our leadership president. And at this time, she will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some special guests with us today that I would like to introduce. First, we have our school board president, Mrs. Hilda Sugarman. Trustee Gianni Meyer. Trustee Chris Thompson. Yeah. We have our beloved and retiring superintendent, Dr. Mitch Hovey. And we have Mrs. Janet Moore, the assistant superintendent of educational services. I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Reuben Reed.
Students, parents, fellow teachers, support staff, Principal Graham, district representatives, good morning. Thank you for being here today. My name is Reuben Reed, and I've had the great honor of being a part of the teaching team that has had these students for the last 2 years. Mr. Diaz is for the last 3 years. Last year, Mrs. Bustamante thanked her campaign manager for getting her elected to last year's teacher speaker. Well, this year, I want to thank Mrs. Bustamante's anti-campaign manager for ensuring that she wouldn't be chosen for a second year in a row. And as far as I know, I think that's Cambria Jones, so Cambria, thank you. It does bring great joy to my heart, 8th graders, that you have allowed me to share one last thought with you. Epic heroes. What is an epic hero? We've been studying epic heroes, right? Well, the very trusted and reliable Wikipedia says, a hero generally participates in a cyclical journey or a quest, faces adversaries that tries to defeat him in his journey, and returns home significantly transformed by the journey. Well, many of these epic heroes are grounded in history, and when it comes to epic heroes, I'm sure that we can all begin to think of a few that were extraordinary. From the dawn of time in literature, we've been looking to heroes for inspiration. Here's a few of them. The Sumerian king Gilgamesh, who traveled the Cedar Mountains and battled the great guardian beast Baba, and later the infamous bull of heaven that belonged to the goddess Ishtar. Gilgamesh then, after the death of his wild man BFF Enkidu, went on an epic quest for none other than immortality. Or how about the shepherd boy named David, who killed lions and bears to protect his flock of sheep? Killed a giant hoplite Phoenician warrior by the name of Goliath. Became a king whose country's reputation spread throughout the area. And there's Heracles, or more commonly known to many of us as Hercules. He went on his journey of 12 labors, killed a bunch of ferocious beasts like the Nymphian lion, nine-headed Lernaean hydra, captured such others as the Erymanthian boar, the Cretan bull, the three-headed guard dog of the underworld, Cerberus. And there's Theseus, who killed the Minotaur in the labyrinth of Crete and saved Athenian youths from sacrifice. Oh yeah, and he got a girlfriend out of it too. There's Perseus, and I'm sure you've seen the movie, either the classic, original, or the horrible remake, but he killed the snake-headed Medusa, saved the beautiful Andromeda from a sea beast. And there's Jason and the Argonauts. And there's the heroes of the Trojan War. Achilles, leader of the Myrmidons, and Hector, valiant defender of Troy. Their fighting prowess was known throughout the realms. And Odysseus, who made the wooden horse, killed a Cyclops, spent a decade sailing home to his wife. That's devotion, right? And of course, Beowulf, one of my favorites. After killing the monstrous Grendel with his bare hands and his terrifying mothers, because sometimes mothers can be very terrifying, right? He returned to save a kingdom, and as king he died in a great battle against a ferocious dragon terrorizing the countryside. Epic heroes, they live on in our memories and our literature. But what motivated them to do these epic deeds? From the examples, many of them performed their deeds for the betterment of a friend, a family, a people group, or a country. You see, I believe that these epic heroes, they live on today. They're all around us. They live on in you and in you. As you look around here today, there are many here that you have inspired with your talent and your dedication. As for your teachers, you've inspired them to work their hardest to bring you their best lesson plans in order that you might learn something and that they wouldn't let you down. As for your parents, you've inspired them to work hard in order to support you, raise you, be the best role models they could possibly be, and so they also wouldn't let you down. As for your peers, you've inspired each other to strive for excellence in academic and athletic competition, in compassion, in integrity, and in grace. As for your younger siblings, some of them are sitting right here watching you today. They're growing up on the other side of the campus where you used to be. You have inspired them to reach or even try to surpass the high bar and standard that you have set. From the eloquence, poise, and grace of Sarah Ritter, girl, you better give me props on your first book, to the stage presence and infectious charismas of Bella, Tiana, and Carmen, to the strange fascination with duct tape of Dakota Keller. Don't give me any credit for that, all right? Where you at? Don't give me credit for that. To the strange and morbid stories of Jacobson Chain. They're gonna make movies out of that stuff. To the athletic prowess of Carly and Riley and Jasmine and Caden and Daniel and Ryan S. Kim and Anthony. To Brooke whose fever is rivaled only by Laura Bay. To Cambria Jones, whose tenacity on and off the court have ever put the odds in her favor. And I did finish catching fire last week, so give me a break. And who can miss her BFF, Kylie Finnegan, whose enthusiasm for life, perpetual smile, and ever hopeful outlook is an inspiration to us all. To Dieter, who had an entire day of the week devoted to him, and Blue Jacket Wednesday. And I understand your jacket's here to watch you promote today. To you, Jane, who just may rule the world, form her own currency, government, and language called Eugenese as she controls the monster of society. To Kai, whose technological expertise was invaluable to Mrs. Bustamante, and his twin, separated at birth, Ethan, with whom he'd always debate religion and politics and vampires or whatever. Out of all here who willingly die for a friend, it'd likely be you two. To Chantel and her crazy faces that always elicited laughs and made us wonder what planet she was from. Mrs. Budamante will always miss her favorite Frenchie. To Theo Richards, who knows every word of every song and has the moves to back it up. To Brandon Ganella, who always had a question to ask, and he most likely already knew the answer to it too. To Nash, who had the coolest hair any middle schooler could ever hope for. Just got a lot of body to it. And Salman, whose smile never disappeared. Love it, man, love it. To Cameron, whose rock star pose ever reflected his coolness and shredding ability in and out of the classroom. To Jonathan Kim, who always knows the right thing to say, who will know the right thing to say after an argument for his future wife. I'm sorry. And the twins, Celeste and Stephen, who have nothing but good things to say about each other. I'm blown away by how much siblings can love each other. To the triplets, Michelle, Richard, and Susan, whose rivalry no less shows any less devotion to each other. To Eduardo Alcaraz and Caitlin Hopkins, whose passions for engineering and astronomy will take them to new worlds. To Julie Hahn, whose skills with strings has the power to pull out our deepest emotions. And Anna and Suzanne and Brisa and Phoebe and Christy and Hunter and Zane and Brendan and Lisa and Wes, and I could go on, but I'm running out of time and Mr. Diaz is running out of tissues. You are the epic heroes of today. You do and you will inspire those around you. You will battle the demons and conquer the monsters of today and tomorrow. You will fight ignorance in our world because it's there. Because it's there, you will fight injustice in our world. You will fight diseases in our world. Because it's there, you will fight poverty in our world, inequality, hatred, and prejudice. And to face the challenges of today and solve the problems of tomorrow, you as epic heroes will innovate, create, adapt, challenge, analyze, synthesize, compose, relate, critique, identify, illustrate, recommend, invent, organize, infer, prioritize, distinguish, apply, defend, compare, survey, interpret with all of your cognitive, spiritual, and emotional powers. But there's one last thing I want you to remember. See, some epic heroes always thought too much of themselves. And that was sometimes their downfall. But you must temper yourself with humility. Archbishop William Temple, 1881 to 1941, once said that humility does not mean thinking less of yourself than of other people. Nor does it mean having a low opinion of your own gifts. It means freedom from thinking of yourself at all. See, what I didn't mention about those heroes was when you read their full stories, sometimes they had things that haunted them. Some, if not most, may have seemed to lack a common ingredient. In their glorious quests, sometimes they forgot the purpose of the quests and sought their own glory. So instead of focusing only on the betterment of a friend, a family member, a people group, or country, sometimes they focused on the betterment of self. An ancient passage reminds us to do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others as better than yourselves. Each of you should look not to your own interests alone, but also to the interests of others. Those epic heroes who tempered themselves with humility sidestepped some of the problems and catastrophes that those who lacked humility faced. So, in your epic quests, I want you to work hard, play hard, pray hard, be nice, well, better yet, be genuine. Did I say read hard? Read. Extend a hand, lift each other up, be humble, slay your dragons, capture your three-headed guard dogs, inspire, and be epic. Be epic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Next, we have Mrs. Olibolo, who will be presenting our Beechwood chapter of National Junior Honor Society.
Good morning, Beechwood families, friends, and community members. We are so excited that you could be here with us today to witness Beechwood's 8th grade students being inducted to the Beechwood chapter of the National Junior Honor Society. This is the highest honor that a student can accomplish. National Junior Honor Society focuses on the total student. Students must have the following qualities. They must be students of character. They must be students who demonstrate citizenship. They must be students who value scholarship and students who exercise leadership and students who serve the community. In order to qualify, students must have a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 or above. They must also have completed 15 hours of community and service. We are very proud to announce the names of the students who have fulfilled all the qualifications to receive the honor of National Junior Honor Society. Will the following students please step forward? Alyssa Baldonado, Laura Bay, Jackson Bedard, Isabella Benavides, Christina Bryce, Lisa Bertea, Haley Casino, Shayok Chakravarti, Jacobson Chang, Eugene Chen, Ashley Chan, Hannah Clayson, Anna Clark, Tyson Coombs, Taylor Cunningham, Isabel De La Cueva, Brisa Diaz, Ryan Dundalski, Kylie Finnegan, Aaron Flores, Hunter Fury, Sophia Gaitachis, Alexi Gaxiola, Brandon Ganella, Michelle Guo, Richard Guo, Susan Guo, Kelsey Hall, Cameron Hogan, Daniel Hogan, Julie Hong, Caitlin Hopkins, Claire Johnson, Cambria Jones, Dakota Keller, Ethan Kessler, Angela Kim, Jonathan Kim, Ryan Kim, Suzanne Kim, Lindsay Larson, Robert Lee, Sarah Lee, Wes Lee, Amelia Lipovac, Shelby Maldonado, Kyle Nicholson, Salman Mustaq, Nathan Pack, Alyssa Park, Heidi Park, Ryan Park, Bernardo Perez, Musa Rangres, Kimberly Reynolds, Sarah Ritter, Carmen Rodriguez, Samuel Saldivar, Michelle Shady, Nash Scott, Kelly Seo, Tiana Simons, Brooke Sinek, Celeste Solis, Stephen Solis, Phoebe Thompson, Jania Tixay, Sydney Trin, Abrami Vina, Joseph Waldo, Stephen Watt, Spencer Williams, Jumin Yu, Simon Yoon, and Chantel Zarn. Students, at this time, I will have you recite the induction pledge. Ready, begin. Able to accomplish. We at Beechwood know that you accept this award and work hard to continue this throughout your high school career. Congratulations, and you may now return to your seats. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite to the stage Miss Eugene Chen. Mr. Reed's speech, he made reference to Eugene running the world someday, and I greatly expect her to do so and to solve all the problems of the world, because she has just a brilliant mind and just really thinks out of the box, and we are very honored to have her. She actually won a gold medal at the state level junior science Olympiad this year, so we are very honored to have her speak.
Beechwood means to me. According to the dictionary, beechwood is a large tree with smooth gray bark, glossy leaves, and fine-grained timber. According to Google Maps, it's 28.7 miles southeast from Los Angeles and located at 780 Beechwood Avenue, Fullerton, California, zip code 92835. But to me, that isn't what Beechwood really means. Beechwood isn't just a noun or a location. It's not just a cluster of concrete buildings and trailers thrown together. Beechwood means so much more than that. Yes, to me, Beechwood sometimes does mean those black plastic license plate frames with little green paw prints that say Beechwood Bobcats. Yes, Beechwood does mean saying "rawr" at least one Wednesday a month at the flagpole ceremonies, because sometimes you can still forget the lyrics to the school song that you've sung oh so many times. And yes, sometimes Beechwood is just like any other school with homework and reading logs that disappear into the black holes of our backpacks. But Beechwood is still different. It's something special, and it's an educational experience like no other. I mean, where else can you find a school that rolling backpacks don't always mean social suicide, and you can actually get the wrong answer in class and still be right? You see, Beechwood is an entire community, a living, breathing mass of caring people. Beechwood means involved parents and dedicated staff that care about the future, about the next generation. That's why they're so concerned and work so hard to provide us an education. And with all of this fostering of young, bright minds, Beechwood becomes a place of security, a place where you don't need to hide or feel like only one out of thousands of students. That's the advantage of being so small. As the next graduating class of Beechwood, we have many challenges to face in high school, and many responsibilities as well. Some of us may be afraid to lose touch with our peers, and we may complain of being treated like children, and yet are being expected to act like adults. We certainly don't want to be sucked down into the great vacuum of high school society either. And still, sometimes we complain that small, pre-K to 8 schools aren't suitable for a group of emergent or wayward teenagers. But sometimes that's just what we need. Whether we've been at this school for 9 months or 9 years, we can see the difference that this school has had on us all. We've been taught to think for ourselves, to encourage new ideas, and ultimately to grow and learn each and every day. But most of all, we've learned lessons not just in academics, but in humanity, how to be truly human and ourselves, free-thinking and bold, passionate and strong. And we owe all of this to our teachers. Due to their dedication, we have truly been the fruit of their labors. Yes, we've learned the date of the Battle of Gettysburg and how to calculate an element's atomic mass number, but the best and most important lessons we've learned have little to do with standardized tests. When Mrs. Miller told us that we could choose slide and divide, the Xbox, or any other factoring method we liked, she wasn't just teaching us algebra. She was telling us to be ourselves, to be comfortable with our personal choices. And if I earned a penny for each time Mr. Reed talked about Middle-earth or J.R.R. Tolkien, I'd probably be a millionaire. But even then, the knowledge and lessons he's taught us to become more aware of the connections in our lives are priceless and beyond value. And he has become the Gandalf to the wandering and confused Bilbos of our personalities. With each and every science song that we've sung, Mrs. Steele has given us not just the periodic table, but confidence with ourselves. And from her shining example, we've seen and learned everything from chemical reactions to responsibility and respect. She has truly opened our eyes and given us not just the scientific world, but also an enthusiasm for learning. Now, when Mr. Diaz told us to pack it up, he wasn't just telling us to clean up the classroom. He was telling us to be dedicated to whatever we do in our lives, and to tie up any loose ends that we've left behind. He has taught us to be both careful and creative in the countless projects that we've had. And we've all learned to take a closer look, not just with rules, but in our lives. Current events and debates with Mrs. Bustamante have always been fun, but while her sarcasm may sometimes bite, she has ultimately given us a voice and taught us how to use it for the better and to make the world a better place. And Mrs. Sunny, with her lessons, not just in the humanities, but in humanity, has constantly questioned us to look on the past and into our lives to see if we can possibly find a future for ourselves. To me, my experience at Beechwood hasn't just been a middle school education. It's been a chapter in my life where I've learned so much more about myself and the world that I live in. Beechwood means an incredible place with incredible students, parents, and staff. It's something that is not just experienced or learned, but felt in the heart. We are a group of young individuals with so much talent, potential, and opportunity. Although we may appear to be drastically different, we often share many of the same confusions and fears. But overall, Beechwood has bonded us together and fostered us and taught us as the class of 2012. And so I stand here before you today to tell you not just what Beechwood has meant to me, but what that will really mean. Among us, we may have the next literary sensation, musical idol, technological innovator, or groundbreaking research scientist. And as we all move on and leave to high school, we'll discover even more of ourselves and learn even more about the world that we live in and will one day be our responsibility to care for and nurture. We hold so much promise and have the power to truly change mankind. And in the end, it really all comes down to where we come from in our lives. Our education, and the one that we've had at Beechwood, has been absolutely phenomenal. That's what Beechwood really is, and really will mean, where young minds can grow and learn to be the next great generation, as we are. And in the next 10 or 20 years, I'm sure that we'll be able to prove all of this true. But we truly have everyone at Beechwood to thank for this period of our lives, where we faced our own struggles and challenges in order to prepare for the real world. Parents, thank you so much. We are so grateful to each and every one of you, even if we may not say it every single day. Teachers and staff, we truly appreciate every single thing that you have done, and I'm sure that you will miss seeing our faces in the classroom as much as we will miss seeing yours. And students, congratulations! Our journey is not over yet, but so far it has been phenomenal. Ready or not, the world is our oyster, and we alone will be able to change it. And thank you, Beechwood, for making all of this possible.
Thank you very much.
pleasure to stand up here for Minor Duncan, who, as you know, has been involved with our school district and has been involved with Rotary for many years. The mission of Rotary International is to provide services to others and to promote integrity and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through its fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. If you are planning to attend Fullerton High or Sunny Hills High, there's a special club for you. It's called Interact. So my hope is that one day you'll investigate and look into that, and perhaps many of you will be able to become involved in their Interact club. And that basically is the Rotary for high school students. So if you get a chance to, check it out. We also live by what we call a four-way test, which has been translated into more than 100 languages. And it asks the following questions. Of the things we think, we say, or we do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? At this point, I'd like to recognize Rotary Outstanding Student Award. These students were chosen by their faculty and staff. These students exhibit the qualities and characteristics of high scholastics, of integrity, leadership skills, initiative, participation in school activities, as well as compassion for their fellow students. So at this point, I'd like to invite Cambria Jones. I'd also like to invite Ju Min Yu, otherwise known as Kai. Let's give them another round of applause.
Next, Cambria will be joining us on the stage again with a special commemoration of what Beechwood means to her. And Cambria is also an award-winning member of our state Science Olympiad team. And she and I have bonded over literature. We like a lot of the same books. So welcome to the stage, Cambria.
Good morning. My name is Cambria Jones, and I want to thank you for the honor of speaking here today. Can you hear me? We're good? All right. It is a great privilege to stand before our principal, Mrs. Graham, and the parents, teachers, staff, and administrators who have dedicated themselves to our education. I'd especially like to thank all of my great teachers for getting up this morning and thinking, yes, I can finally get rid of those big rowdy 8th graders. No, I'm sure they all got up and shed a little tear instead. We have been together for 3 years after all. 3 years ago, I was so excited to come to Beechwood that I hopped on my bike and followed my brother down Rolling Hills Drive, ready to face the oncoming traffic and the challenges of middle school. Well, that was the first lesson I learned, the oncoming traffic. Next thing I knew, I was lying in the street and looking up into the smiling, concerned face of Mr. Miramontes as he said, well, Cambria, I don't think you'll be coming to school today. Lesson number 1. Go with the flow, or you may get run over. Unless the flow is going in the wrong direction, of course. Beechwood is a place where students can learn to be themselves, and middle school is a place that helps promote this. We have Science Olympiad, ASB, Mesa, choir, band, orchestra, and theater. My fellow Bobcats and I were able to find a place where we belonged. We became a family. And it wasn't just the students who were part of that family, it was the teachers too. Their enthusiasm for learning was apparent in all the millions of projects they assigned us, which were all due at the same time. I'd like to thank you for that. It really taught me to manage my time. Lesson number 2, you don't always have time for Facebook. There are many moments over the last 3 years that I will never forget. Like the Friday in 6th grade, when Mr. Diaz was dancing around the room singing, "The sun will come out tomorrow." Sorry, Mr. Diaz, but Annie, you are not. When you got to 8th grade, Mr. Diaz, you created the 20% project.
Maybe you should rename it, because it sure took up more than 20% of our time. I remember the debate in 7th grade when I tried to prove to Mr. Reed that just being nice wasn't enough. You had to be genuinely nice. Just as you were, Mr. Reed, in letting me win that one argument. Mr. Reed always challenged us to think outside the box. I challenged him too, but I lost, since he does have Catching Fire finished by the time I'm going to walk across this stage. Mrs. Steele is the most dedicated teacher I have ever met. She has given us more knowledge than any other person could possibly fit into the span of one school year. But she didn't just teach us. She came up with fun, cool activities to make learning fun. Make sure you check out her amazing new backpack, the Wonder Pack, designed and created by her homeroom. And of course, I'll never forget that Mendel was a mighty monk, or that cells divide with its mitosis. Putting science lyrics to old TV tunes will keep us thinking of Mrs. Steele and Beechwood for years to come, as will my every visit to Joshua Tree. Lesson number 3, just a spoonful of music makes the learning much more fun. One thing that wasn't music to my ears, however, was my alarm clock going off at 5 o'clock every morning. But the smiling face of Mrs. Miller as I walked into room 13 made it all worthwhile. The math project Y's were an added bonus too. But we did learn how to calculate the circumference of a circle from her teaching as we watched the sun rise through the windows of room 13. We also watched the circumference of Mrs. Sunny grow as the year progressed. Though some of us had hoped to change the outcome of the Civil War with her creative game of friendly competition, fortunately for Beechwood, the Union prevailed once again. Well, at least in my class. Even though she did not choose any of her favorite students' names for her baby girl, we successfully completed our history CSTs before the birth of Marlo Everett Sunny. Mrs. Bustamante, nuestra maestra muy buena, was not just a great teacher, but also someone I could discuss anything with, especially anything about the Hunger Games, that is. She has incredible insight and challenges us to seize opportunities when they come our way. Lesson number 4, teachers actually know more than we think they do. As the Beechwood class of 2012 now moves forward into high school, whether it be to the hallowed halls of Troy, yes, I am a bit biased, or to the simple historic halls of Fullerton, or it could be the halls of Brea, Buena Park, Whittier Christian, Sunny Hills, Servite, Rosary, or even Sonora, I want to challenge my fellow classmates to build upon the rock-solid foundation that this school and our teachers have provided us. Our teachers have prepared us for the next 4 years. It is now up to us, the class of 2016, to make sure that what they have done will be put to good use. As Dr. Seuss once said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Let that direction be one that you will be proud of, Bobcats. Lesson number 5, you may not always be able to stay with the people and places that you love, but the memories will always go with you. Good luck in high school, fellow Bobcats, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, here's the moment that we've been waiting for. It's time for the presentation of diplomas and promotional certificates. And Mrs. Holly Steele will be joining us to recite the names. Our esteemed dignitaries, we're going to have you stand on this side of the stage. So Mr. Sugarman and Mrs. Meyer, if you'll come join them on this side.
All right. We begin with Eduardo Alcaraz. Alyssa Baldonado. Laura Bay. Ashley Beck. Jackson Bedard. Isabella Benavides. Hayden Bradley. Christina Bryce. Lisa Bertia. Russell Caparel. Haley Casino. Shayok Chakravarti. Jacobson Chang. Eugene Chen. Diane Choi. Ashley Chan. Hannah Clausen. Anna Clark. Tyson Coombs. Taylor Cunningham. Isabel de la Cueva. Brisa Diaz. Alec DeBell. Ryan Dundalski. Anthony Dorsey. Riley Ersick. Joshua Fanning. Kylie Finnegan. Erin Flores. Samantha Freeman. Hunter Fury. Sophia Gaitachis. Alexei Gaxiola. Stephanie Godwin. Brandon Ganella. Michelle Woe. Richard Woe. Susan Woe. Samantha Gutierrez. Kelsey Hall. Carly Hall. Cameron Hogan. Daniel Hogan. Julie Hogg. Caitlin Hopkins. Zane Ishmael. Claire Johnson. Cambria Jones. Brendan Kay. Dakota Keller. Ethan Kessler. Angela Kim. Jonathan Kim. Ryan M. Kim. Ryan S. Kim. Suzanne Kim.
Oh, pretty derived.
Lindsay Larson. Robert Lee. Sarah Lee. Wes Lee. William Lemke. Amelia Lipovac. Shelby Maldonado. Kyle Nicholson. Dieter Miller. Carrie Mooney. Salman Mushtaq. Nathan Pack. Elisa Park. Heidi Park. Ryan Park. Bernardo Perez. Musa Rangres. Kelsey Rattel. Kimberly Reynolds. Theodore Richard. Sarah Ritter. Carmen Rodriguez. Samuel Saldivar. Michelle Shady. Nash Scott. Callie So. Jasmine Shed. Michael Sheehan. Tiana Simons. Solis. Jessica Soto. Phoebe Thompson. Janina Dixon. Sydney Trin. Ariana Velarde. Abby Rami Vina. Joseph Waldo. Stephen Watts. Megan Whiteman. Try this again. Megan Whiteman. Spencer Williams. Jumin Young. Simon Yoon. Chantal Zant. And we do have 3 students who are unable to join us today, but they certainly deserve to be recognized, and that includes Linus Mullus, Leon Mace, and Jonathan Williams.
All right, we are going to have our graduates walking out, so parents, if you'll remain seated. And after the ceremony, after the children have walked out, there are refreshments for you, so please feel free to mingle in this courtyard area. And we really enjoyed our time today.
Yeah, I got you. Watermelon.
Wait, Hannah, did we grab that? I saw it.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks.
And there we go. Thank you.
Let me get in here. Yeah.
Alright, here we go. And ready, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. That was great. When did you join your speech? You're up there. Go. Right there. You had a good introduction. I like that.
Okay. You send me pictures. Oh. Exactly. All right. Anybody else? Okay. All right. One crazy one. Ready?
Go crazy. Go crazy.
You're going to get the picture. One more time. One more time. Right. Crazy or good? Crazy. Woo. We're gonna sing it. We're an all-star school, a dedicated school, striving for excellence and peace. We're the symbol of the growth and love, the pride of our community. Every Bobcat shines with their creative minds when there's always a caring smile. As we meet our challenges each new day, we keep our focus on Beechwood School. Roar!